Several weeks have passed since we slew the Sunder known as Bellower, but the chaos of the world did not wither as we hoped. The world is breaking.
Hi, it's Story here for Gamereactor. We are at E3 in the Versus Evil booth, and we stumbled across Banner Saga 2, and here to tell us all about that is John, the technical director. Now, of course, Banner Saga 1, huge success, originally kickstarted, and then, I mean, you've been porting it to other platforms, and people that are playing it love it. So no surprise that you're bringing out the second one. But what's new in the second one?
Well, the second one contains some refinements that we saw. Some things about Banner Saga 1 that we thought we could improve upon. The second one is intended to be cohesive and coherent with the first, so we're not taking any left turns or making any major gameplay changes. We want it to feel like a continuation of the same game. That being said, we felt like we could benefit by greater variety in combat. So we have more combat scenarios, more win conditions, lots more characters and classes, a lot of scripted events and storytelling in the combat scenarios. So we want to make every combat feel more nuanced and feel like it's part of the world. That's one of the things we've been thinking about. Another is the interaction between you and your clansmen. We want your caravan of clansmen to mean something to you in gameplay terms and not just be a drain on you. A lot of players at the beginning of Banner Saga 2 felt like they had this intense moral obligation to save and preserve their clansmen. And later on, some people found that they felt like they wanted to sacrifice their clansmen so they could use their renown to build up their heroes instead of spending all their renown on supplies for their clansmen. So we want to make the clansmen play a greater role. You can train them to be fighters, so you can take those clansmen and train them to be part of your fighting force. The clansmen have a purpose in foraging and gaining supplies, and all these things are done through story. So there's not this whole new user interface or anything else. It's all very organic through the story.
And speaking of the story, it is continuing on from the first one. So those that have played the first one through, it will pick up their save and continue the story from there.
Yes, it'll load all your decisions. It'll pick up right where you left off. So anybody who died or is lost in the first one will be gone in the second one. It'll remember the things you did. Did you destroy the Einertoff Bridge? All these things will come into play, including the major points of who you will be playing in the second game, Rook or Alette. And if you haven't played the Banner Saga 1, just like the Banner Saga 1, Banner Saga 2 leads you in, gives you a tutorial, teaches you how to play the game, introduces the characters. So you're not expected to have played Banner Saga 2. It's perfectly okay for you to jump in, and you should understand what's going on. But if you have played Banner Saga 1, you will understand where these characters came from and how they got there and what their condition is.
And now, of course, when you're bringing in your heroes, you have to up the level cap because, I mean, you want to progress with your characters in the second one, right?
Yes, things are going to get tougher, and your characters are going to get tougher as well. One thing we've done in order to keep, we don't want to just have a runaway stats and have everybody have really high stats. So what we're doing is adding some variety, as well as we're increasing stats a little bit, but we're adding variety in battle by giving your characters a chance to obtain a second ability at rank 6. So an archer, a bowmaster may be able to take on the siege archer's ability and be able to choose between them in battle, make them much more versatile. So if you have 6 of your units in battle and now they all have 2 abilities, you'll be able to, many more strategies will be available to you. So
and I have to say, being from Iceland myself, I love a good Viking game, and you have actually like Icelandic voice actors for authenticity.
Yes, that's right. We've been using Icelandic voice actors since the beginning. The voice of Ubin is in this game as well, and doing narration. And we have voices for Rook and Alette that do narration at times when you reach important points. We don't try to voice act all the dialogue. I think that would be a little bit heavy-handed, but we do have voice acting for important points when you reach a godstone or when you reach a town or something happens. Usually in the context of some music and watching the scene scroll by.
And with the story, you're kind of bringing that more into the combat as well, trying to tell the story through there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We don't want to have you just dropped into a combat board, set out your units. It feels a little disjointed if you're in the middle of this story and all of a sudden you're switched into chess mode or whatever. So we've enhanced the engine quite a bit to have lots of scriptability in terms of characters coming onto the board and explaining what's happening, having a little exposition. Maybe you join the battle halfway through, and there's already wounded on the field, and you have to take over from there. We saw some of that in Banner Saga 1 as well. There were several scripted battles like that, but we're kind of taking it to the next level.
And now, with the success of Banner Saga, you ported it to other platforms as well. What's the plan platform-wise with Banner Saga 2?
We're going to follow the same platform as Banner Saga 2. We're already out on mobile, iOS and Android for Banner Saga 1. That's fairly straightforward for us because we've overcome that technical hurdle. We're still in the process of porting to PS4 and Xbox One and Vita for Banner Saga 1. That should be out hopefully before Banner Saga 2, and we'll follow along. And we've translated Banner Saga 1 into 7 languages, and we intend to keep increasing that and carry on with that for Banner Saga 2 as well.
So you're going to start on PC and then mobile and then next-gen consoles following?
That's the most likely from a technical perspective. Obviously, the quicker the better, and simultaneously would be nice, but we're still a very small team, small independent team, so we can do it, we do it as fast as we can.
Absolutely. And what are we talking about in terms of launch dates, if you have that?
We're planning on launching Banner Saga 2 in the winter of this year.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I give you my word.
My oath. We
will survive.